welcome back to Third Rate Content. Today we are at Aberystwyth Castle on Castle Hill in Aberystwyth, and we are going to be finding out all about this 13th century medieval Welsh castle, which is now a ruin. It wasn't the first castle in this locale, but we will find out about its predecessor and the story behind it and how it ultimately met its demise. So buckle up and I'll see you out here. Edward I had Aberystwyth Castle built here at Castle Hill in 1277. Although a ruin today, Aberystwyth Castle was one of Edward I's most fearsome fortresses and designed by the eminent builder of castles, John of St. James. The master mason was employed after Edward recaptured his castle in 1283 after the Welsh rebellion had taken it the previous year. It took another 6 years for the castle to be completed at a huge financial cost for those times. £4,300. I got no idea how much it would be today, but it would be a lot of taxes collected. The completed castle had all the latest design features straight over from the Holy Land and the Crusades. These included curtain wall, 4 towers, battlements, moat, and arrow loops. Yeah, this isn't the first ever Aberystwyth Castle. There was another castle in this area that was the predecessor to this one. The recorded history of Aberystwyth, it began with the Norman knight Gilbert Fitzrichard. He was the grandfather of another Norman knight who played an intrinsic role in the invasions of Ireland, which is just over the Irish Sea, or the Cardigan Bay. From here, this would have been a prime staging post for these invasions. Richard Strongbow de Clare was the Earl of Pembroke, and he led the Norman landings of Ireland of 1170. The results of this invasion was Ireland being ruled by England, Britain for 800 years. Richard de Clare was known as Strongbow. I think the cider got its name after him, but I wonder about that, because if you look at the Strongbow cider, it has actually got a Norman or a nasal helmeted soldier on the actual artwork. In fact, the origin of Strongbow cider comes from the Norman knight named Richard de Clare, who was known for using archers in his Irish campaigns, as we said, thus gaining the nickname Strongbow. The cider was launched in the early 1960s, and the original emblem art was done by Barney Bubbles, who I know from designing artwork for premier space rock group Hawkwind. And I can say I was not expecting to take a cider drink detour on today's video via space rock and 60s art, but here we are. I'm not being sponsored by Strongbow. I don't even drink cider. The Norman imagery isn't so pronounced on today's strongbow emblem, is the final thing I'll say. Let's carry on with the video. The castle of these two generations of the same family was about 1.5 miles south of the current town of Aberystwyth. The castle was hotly contested between the Normans and the Welsh. Aberystwyth Castle figured prominently in the plans of the medieval Welsh king Llewellyn the Great. And Llewellyn the Great attacked and seized Aberystwyth in the years of 1208, around this sort of time. But Edward I replaced Strongbow's castle in 1277, and Edward I's castle was in a different location, because they're 1.5 miles north where we are now. And this castle in the 1400s was held by Owen Glendower between the years 1408 and 1412, so he had it for 4 years during his rebellion. At this time, Aberystwyth was known as Lampadaran. There is another village called Lamparadan just inland from here, and then eventually to distinguish it from it, it became known as Aberystwyth, the town on the Ystwyth River. Between the years of 1639 and 1642, silver coins were minted at Aberystwyth Castle, of course on behalf of the Royal Mint. It was the proprietor of the mint who was loyal to the king and raised a regiment on his behalf. And in 1649, during the English Civil War, was raging here in Wales as well, the castle was razed to the ground, and there are 3 corners of it left today and the castle ruined. There was an archaeological dig or survey done here in 1988, and a male skeleton was found buried in the castle grounds. It is in a museum now, but it is thought that this skeleton was buried purposely in the 1600s, at around the time of the Civil War. So thank you for watching to the end of today's third rate content. It's been an interesting short little one here in Wales at Aberystwyth, and yeah, been really enjoyable. I've been meaning to come here for ages, but I just, I come on holiday to this area, but I just haven't got round to coming to Aberystwyth until today, and it's wonderful. So anyway, thanks for joining me. If you did enjoy today's video, why don't you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, but thank you if you have, and leave a comment if you'd like a chat. I do love a good comment, and I reply where appropriate and applicable. So that's it for today. If I don't see you soon, I'll see you 3 times as soon. Third rate content, signing out. Bye bye.